there on the website. That's how you contribute to WNYC. It is a vital time to do that. It's a critical time because we've lost federal funding for what we do, and it's not going to come back, even though it's been helping us for decades. So what we're asking you to do in this moment, Luke Green and I in this moment, is to stand up with a monthly contribution to WNYC, whether it's starting a new one and you've never given to WNYC before. Welcome. We welcome you into the fold. Everyone is welcome here, no matter what you have to give. Or if you're already a sustaining member, we just ask that you kick it up a few more dollars a month. You know, this is a time where we'll all have to chip in and do our part. And if you've already been a longtime supporter of WNYC, making that monthly sustaining contribution, just call and add a couple of more dollars to that. It will go so far to help keeping us strong for the future. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
Listener, I want to talk to you right now and have a conversation as if Sean wasn't in the room listening right now. How much do you feel like you know Sean Carlson? How much do you feel like you depend on his voice to help guide you through the stress of the news and all that's going on in the world on a daily basis? Be honest. Don't you get a little bit excited when you hear that All Things Considered music at the top and you hear Sean's voice coming in every day? That's when you know that you're going to get the breakdown of what was happening in our city, in our regional area, around the country, and around the world. If this is a voice that you feel like you know, if this is it feels like your friend, someone that you rely on a daily basis, that's, you know, a part of your life, as much a part of your life as your family or friends even, that is the sign that I think you should support Sean, support All Things Considered, support WNYC, because we're a big part of your life and we're free for all. You know, we don't ask everyone to demand payment like it's a subscription. That's how this works. It's voluntary. And I think the fact that it's voluntary makes it so special and worth stepping up for. It's a choice, but it's a powerful choice that you can make to feel good right now and know that you're keeping WNYC on the air for you and your neighbors and your city. 888-376-WNYC, 888-376-9692. You can also give online at WNYC.org.
Psst. Hey there, sustaining member. Yeah, it's just us, WNYC. You only hear this because you're a sustaining member. It's a brand new technology, pretty cool, not exactly sure how it works, or if I've completely made it up. But anyway, we just wanted to say thanks. We really appreciate you. And since I have you, I'd like to ask you to consider adding an extra $3 a month to your ongoing donation to help give WNYC an even more secure future and to help us provide you with the news you need and captivating conversations that you look forward to. $3 more a month will have an incredible impact. We count on you, and we know you count on us. Okay, I have to go talk to the others now. Again, you're the best sustaining member. You really are. $3 more. Here's how to do it.
888-376-9692 or WNYC.org. Yeah, just kick it up a few dollars a month. It's not too much that we're asking for. And the great part about it is that it's voluntary, right? So you don't have to give. We're really relying on the generosity of your spirit to keep WNYC going, to help keep us strong. And if you already are a sustaining member here at WNYC, add a few more dollars onto that, because this moment really calls for it, because we've lost that federal funding for what we do, and we need your support now to keep this strong. Or again, become a new sustaining member. And you could just start at a $3 a month amount. Whatever works for you works for us, and we're calling on you to do that now. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
And let's say you're already giving $10 a month, but you kick it up that $3 as Allison was asking you to do. At $13 a month, we will thank you right now with the Sean Carlson pint glass. Yes. If you increase your monthly gift to $13 a month or just become a member at the $13 a month level, it's a 16-ounce pint glass that features a sketch of WNYC's All Things Considered host Sean Carlson. It will make you feel good about your relationship with WNYC. You'll, get off work at the end of the day, crack open a cold beverage of your choosing, and look at your favorite radio host as you sip it down and listen to the All Things Considered and get your news for the day. It's journalism that you value, and your financial support goes a long way to keeping that around. 888-376-9692, 888-376-WNYC, or WNYC.org.
Support for WNYC comes from the American Art Fair, running May 16th through 19th at Manhattan's Bohemian National Hall, featuring historical and modern works by American artists, as well as a lecture series. More at theamericanartfair.com.
If you believe democracy requires a free press, your station is WNYC, 93.9 FM and AM 820. NPR News and the New York Conversation.
Marketplace is supported by BMC. BMC helps customers automate, manage, and optimize their complex IT environments. Learn more at bmc.com.
Oh, look, more inflation. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Odoo.com, offering integrated programs for sales, customer relationship management, inventory, and other business operations, designed to work together as a customizable software suite. Odoo, all your business on one platform. And by Bitwarden Password Manager for Business, designed to support evolving security goals, available at bitwarden.com. And by Progressive. Progressive Commercial Auto Insurance protects the cars, trucks, and vans that work to keep small businesses moving forward, including protection while running errands and other tasks. More at progressivecommercial.com.
In Los Angeles, I'm Kai Rizdal. It is Wednesday today. This one is the 13th of May. Good as always to have you along, everybody. So, you remember yesterday, the big inflation news, consumer prices rising 3.8% year on year. Oh, for the halcyon days of 24 hours ago. We learned this morning from the good people at the Bureau of Labor Statistics that producer prices, that is, prices at the wholesale level, shot up 6% in April from a year ago. The March to April increase this year was 1.4%. We haven't seen numbers like that since 2022 during those post-pandemic inflation blues. It is not, to be clear, a one-for-one correlation, wholesale prices trickling down to the consumer, but it is a real safe bet that higher prices at retail are coming our way. Marketplace's Kaylee Wells gets us going.
When Laura Veldkamp saw the numbers this morning, the word that came out of her mouth was, wow.
That's a large rise in prices.
She's an economics and finance professor at Columbia University. The reason for the wow is these are price hikes that we as consumers haven't even seen yet.
This is above and beyond what we've already felt at the gas pump or on the shelf of the store.
The cause of that jump in prices? You get one guess.
This seems directly related to the war in the Middle East, to the disruption in the fuel supply.
Diesel's up 13%, gas is up 16%, and that's a problem.
Some of these higher energy prices are starting to feed into, other goods and services prices.
Grace Zwemmer with Oxford Economics says some of those other prices are obvious. Trucking, freight, passenger transportation. But energy spikes also sneak into grocery prices, too.
They're what drives a lot of farm equipment, but also commercial transportation equipment.
Now, producers have already paid those prices. Gary Brode is managing partner of Deep Knowledge Investing. And he says even if the war ended tomorrow and energy prices fell, the producers still have to recoup their higher costs.
If the input costs go up, that has to work its way through the system.
So Brode says even though prices feel high now, it's a good time to stock up because they're only going to get worse.
Go buy canned tuna fish, canned chickpeas, canned beans, stuff like that. So when your grocery bill for really good fresh food skyrockets, you can say, you know what, once or twice a week, we're going to eat out of the pantry.
Laura Veldkamp with Columbia says consumers have about 2 to 4 months before the price spikes in today's PPI show up on the store shelves. I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.
This seems an opportune moment, speaking of inflation as we are, to let you know that Kevin Warsh was confirmed by the Senate today to succeed Jay Powell as chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. With the job, of course, comes the economic management, shall we say, challenges presented by today's inflation numbers. Wall Street today, honestly, traders seemed not fazed even a tiny little bit by the prospect of rising prices or the war or anything. Actually, one word, 4 syllables, the driver of so much in the markets of late, technology. We will have the details when we do the numbers. We talk every now and then on this program about lagging versus leading indicators. Just like it sounds, lagging data tells us where the economy has been. This week's inflation data, for instance, lags. We know what inflation was in April, not what it's gonna be. And while the bond market isn't technically a leading indicator, if you read the tea leaves closely enough, it can tell you where the economy might be headed. Case in point, the yield on the long bond today, the U.S. 30-year Treasury, closed above 5%. There is nothing magic about 5% per se, but that is higher than that yield has been in almost a year. And we care about the bond market because Treasury yields affect all kinds of consumer lending, but we also care because those rising yields can tell us a lot about what investors expect in both the short term and the long. Marketplace's Justin Ho has more on the signals that bonds are sending right now.
Between the hot CPI and PPI reports this week, bond investors have had plenty of reasons to believe that inflation is getting uncomfortably high.
What we've seen is investors pricing in higher long-term inflation into what they want to receive from lending to the government.
That's Luke Tilley, chief economist at Wilmington Trust. He says investors expected inflation data to pick up this week, since energy prices have been rising ever since the war in Iran started. But Tilley says the fact that inflation is rising in other categories, including trucking and transportation, is a big concern for the Federal Reserve, because as long as consumers are willing to pay these higher prices,
well, then you would not be really in the mood to be cutting interest rates. You would want to either hold them where they are or raise them to tamp down on spending, essentially.
As a result, bond investors have been demanding higher yields, especially on short-term government bonds, which are more closely tied to what investors think the Fed's going to do. Matthew Miskin with Manulife John Hancock Investments says 2-year Treasury yields have been picking up, for instance.
That suggests over the next 2 years there will be a hike.
But interest rate hikes have consequences. They slow down the economy. And Miskin says that is being reflected by long-term bond yields.
In terms of the longer end, it's like, yeah, well, if the Fed then hikes or has to be more restrictive, then that's not great for longer term growth.
Miskin says that's why yields on 10-year treasuries, for instance, haven't been rising as quickly as shorter term yields. In other words, investors aren't quite as worried about inflation over the long run as they are about inflation this year. George Perks is macro strategist at Bespoke Investment Group.
An inflation shock today doesn't really tell you anything about where inflation is going to be in the period starting 10 years from now or 20 years from now.
But Perks says long-term bond yields aren't signaling doom either. That's because there are still plenty of factors that are boosting the economy, including consumer spending and business investment.
What the bond market currently sees is a U.S. economy that is very resilient.
And a resilient economy pushes yields higher too. I'm Justin Ho for Marketplace.
Let's do the numbers. Dow Industrial's down 67 points today, 10%, 49,693. The NASDAQ up 314 points. That is 1.2%, 26,402. The S&P 500 added 43.6%, 74 and 44. Warmer weather means sandal season is coming, if it isn't already upon us, and Birkenstock, maker of the somewhat controversial footwear, reported earnings today that missed expectations. The German company cited tariffs and currency swings as reasons why. Birkenstock slumped 12 9/10%. Have you seen the sandals? Of course it slumped. NVIDIA shares jumped 2 3/10% today on the news that CEO Jensen Huang has joined President Trump's delegation to China. Don't at me about the Birkenstock thing. Micron Technology and Qualcomm are on that trip too. Micron up 4 8/10%. Qualcomm lifted 1 4/10%. You're listening to Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Viking, dedicated to bringing travelers closer to the destination. Viking offers a small ship experience with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. And by Intuit QuickBooks Workforce, integrating payroll, time tracking, HR, and financials, designed to connect employee lifecycle functions in one system. More at QuickBooks.com/workforce. And by Barron's Investor Circle, a new product offering investors stock picks, market insights, and access to the Barron's editors behind over a century of financial reporting. Learn more at Barron's.com/investor circle.
Oh, hey, Andrew, you using this bench?
Nope, go right ahead. I already lifted 5 pounds this month.
Okay.
Been doing that for years.
You do know if you lift a little more, you'll get stronger.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Yeah, it's like WNYC supporters. Federal funding is gone for good, but one solution is for listeners to give a little extra money every month.
You can do that?
Yeah, your small increase has a huge impact, and that means great news and shows every day. Thousands have already stepped up.
Huh, really?
But thousands haven't yet.
I think I hear what you're saying.
If you haven't increased your monthly gift yet, please do it now and keep WNYC strong.
I can definitely give WNYC a little extra each month.
That's great.
And that means I never have to exercise again.
Huh, you made a real leap there.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Increase your monthly gift or become a sustaining member right now. Here's how to help.
Pick up the phone and call 888-376-9692. You can also go online to WNYC.org and click on a donate. I'm Sean Carlson here with Luke Green from the All of It show that you hear from noon to 2 every day. And we're here to tell you about our Spring Pledge Drive. It's day 2 of that Spring Pledge Drive. This is a critical one, folks, because we no longer have federal funding for what we do. We relied on that for decades. It's gone and it ain't coming back. So we need everyone to step up and do their part. If you're listening right now, I'm talking to you. If you've never given to WNYC, consider making a monthly contribution right now at any amount. Whatever works for your budget works for us. If you've already contributed and you're a sustaining member of WNYC, kick that up a few dollars. Everyone has to do their part right now to get us to where we need to go, and we're going to do it together. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
Sean, we like to have fun in these Pledge Drive breaks. You know, we got the Sean Carlson pint glass, which we'll talk about a little later. But as you were saying, there is a clear message behind why we're coming on the air to talk to you right now. And that's because there is an urgent need in our country, in our city, for journalism that doggedly pursues the truth day in, day out, no matter what. Journalism that holds our government accountable with no commercial interest. We're not backed by some billionaire who decides, you know, what and what not we can't say on the air. You know, we are journalism that is fearless and ambitious. I mean, can you imagine right now in the state that our world is in if there weren't journalists out there breaking stories, asking people in power questions? I don't even want to think about how chaotic that world would be. And I think it's a great reminder about why journalism matters in these especially chaotic moments in the world. You know, you need journalists out there asking questions. You know, this is the time where we step up. This is when WNYC has been stepping up, as you've been hearing on a daily basis. 888-376-9692 to help us support this kind of journalism that you rely on in your own life. 888-376-9692. Stand with us. Go to WNYC.org. /donate.
Yeah, and think about how valuable Marketplace is, what we're listening to right now, and WNYC in general are to you, and give what you can to keep both this program and this station thriving for everybody. Kai Ryssdal, a host of a national program, we should say. This is broadcast across the country. He was a guest on our very own Brian Lehrer show this morning. Here's how Kai described what Marketplace does for you.
What Marketplace does is that we find you the stories that you would ordinarily miss. We make them human. We do casual conversations. We have unexpected anecdotes. And that's why people need to listen to them. I know you guys are in pledge, so let me make the pledge right now, right? If I came on the radio every day and said, leading economic indicators are up 4.2%, my mother would turn off the radio. And my mother listens every single day. I'm the only 62-year-old man in America whose mother knows where he is every single day, right? That's not what we do. We make you care and we make you understand. Public radio does that broadly. Marketplace does it for a very specific slice of what is happening in this country.
I should also note, I'm a 39-year-old man. My mom knows where I am right now. Hi, Mom.
Hi,
I know
Mom.
you're listening.
Hi, Sean's mom.
Contribute to WNYC. Think about that, right? Is that we are human beings here at WNYC. I don't think of myself as some lofty celebrity man because, quite frankly, I'm not. I don't want to be. I'm a New Yorker just like you. I take the train to work just like you. Sometimes ride the motorcycle, but most of the days I ride the train to work. I live in the city. I love the city. I thrive here just the same as you do. I experience the troubles and the hardship, but also the beauty of living here. And I want this city and the institutions that make it run to thrive. So consider giving right now when we're at this place where we have no federal funding anymore. Keep this strong because we need it more now than ever. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org.
You hear that, listener? Sean Carlson is one of you. Sean is a New Yorker who's taking the subway, occasionally the motorcycle. Look out for him on the roads. And in that spirit, we will thank you with our newest thank you gift, the Sean Carlson Pint Glass. If you increase, or when you increase your monthly gift to $13 or become a member at that level, $13 a month, it's a 16-ounce pint glass featuring a sketch of Sean Carlson, WNYC's All Things Considered host. And when you're listening to All Things Considered on a daily basis, you know, how much better will it feel to know if you're listening that you can crack open a nice cold beverage, pour yourself something, and know that you are supporting journalism and feeling good. 888-376-9692, 888-376-WNYC, and thank you.
This is Marketplace. I'm Kai Ryssdal. We're going to go energy heavy in this second half of the program, oil and its distillates. And we begin with the always good to remember truism that whatever American politicians like to say about U.S. crude supply, oil trades in a global market. And with supplies as scarce as they are now because of the war with Iran, the International Energy Agency says crude inventories are falling at a record pace. The agency, which coordinates international reserve releases, says those global stockpiles are decreasing by about 4 million barrels a day. That drawdown is, yes, helping to keep a ceiling on prices for gas and jet fuel. Supply just about keeping up with demand for now. But as Marketplace's Elizabeth Trovall points out, inventories do not last forever.
The International Energy Agency was created to deal with exactly the kind of global energy supply shock we're dealing with right now.
For 50 years, the U.S. and its allies have purchased and held inventories for a rainy day.
That's Mark Finley with Rice University, who calls today's crisis
the rainiest of days in oil market history anyway, the ultimate nightmare scenario for energy security. And oil is the biggest source of fuel for the U.S. and for the global economy.
While we did prepare for this rainy day, every day we're burning through more of those emergency stockpiles of oil and fuel. Gregory Brew is with Eurasia Group.
That is a ticking clock. Eventually, inventories run down to the level where you can't keep drawing from them, and you either need to get supply back up and running, or you need to reduce demand.
That comes in the form of even higher prices.
A lot of analysts are pointing to June as the crucial pain point, and that is based on the current level of consumption remaining consistent or possibly even increasing, since the summer tends to be the peak demand for the year.
High summer demand at a time of historic supply shortfall, while reserves are being drained and there are no large-scale increases in oil production. Tom Sang is with Texas Christian University.
Every single day that this conflict continues with the strait closed, the situation's just getting worse and worse and worse.
And even after we see resolution and a slow recuperation of oil markets,
then we have to add this new layer, and that is replenishing these reserves that we're drawing down because of the conflict.
That's more oil demand. So he says, regardless of when this mess ends, pain at the pump is going to last at least for several more months. I'm Elizabeth Trovall for Marketplace.
Elizabeth's story was the strategic side of oil and its distillates. We're going to go now to Wyoming for the more tactical side, and we're going to do it with a swing by the AAA website, which tells us that as of today, a gallon of diesel in Wyoming costs you $5.49 a gallon, a full $1 more than regular gas there. We have talked on the program before about how diesel prices are hitting long-haul trucking and small businesses. Today, another group, people who drive big diesel pickups in there every day. In some Mountain West and Northern Plains states, 1 out of every 3 vehicles on the road is a pickup truck, double the national average. Marketplace's Caitlin Tan has this one.
Chelsea Tatum fires up her massive Ford F-350 diesel truck, the kind that's got those dual wheels in the rear. She backs the massive truck out of her tiny driveway in Lander, Wyoming. Plopped on top is a live-in camper.
Yeah, you can't see anything. Definitely smacked a large boulder here there.
She uses the rig for road trips and driving rough terrain to her favorite hiking spots. But today is just show and tell. Tatum is no match for the F-350 size-wise. She leaps out a couple feet to the ground. She's wearing Lisa Frank Croc shoes and bright red lipstick.
I think it's nice as a woman to have something that's like big and like, I don't know, tough and loud.
But that tough and loud feeling burns a hole in her jeans pocket.
I only get 10 miles to the gallon with the camper on it.
Lately, it's $200 to fill up. So for Tatum to drive the truck instead of her car?
It's a lot of math and being, okay, how much is it going to cost me to get there? Doesn't make sense.
Right now, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean she's going to park it by the side of the road with a for sale sign.
There's something about a big truck that makes a lot of noise that is, I don't know, it's feeding some primal need of having this like big monster truck.
In Wyoming, diesel engines roar through neighborhoods. Big trucks sandwich small cars in parking lots. And if you don't own one, you know someone who does.
My mother, who is 85 years old, she has this gigantic truck.
Melody Edwards has lived in Wyoming for much of her life.
I was like, Mom, would you like to sell that truck? I mean, it's just her. No, she must have a giant truck.
Edwards is the host of the Modern West podcast, which explores the region's culture and way of life. And that includes diesels.
There's a certain pride in that by a lot of people that they're driving a fossil fuel vehicle and they're loud. And that's just how it is. It's just sort of like the soundtrack of the American West.
And it's hard to get that song out of your head.
It would be really hard to pry the truck out of people's iron grips. They're not going to give them up easily.
In fact, diesel prices have been relatively high since the pandemic, and there's still plenty of Wyomingites driving big diesel trucks.
Sometimes our snow will just drift all the way over the highway, and you need to just be able to get through a crazy snowdrift.
Or you need the big truck for taking care of your animals. I meet Marta Johan at her place outside of Lander. She's leading a frisky brown and white horse named Clementine.
Look at this guy. My God. Yeah, I really feel like a free spirit right now. She is.
Riding horses is the thing she loves to do. People even hire her to take their own horses out for training and exercise.
We go not just out of here, we go 2-3 mountain ranges over to kind of get horses in new places and exposed.
Johan pulls her horse trailer with a Ram 2500. You're not going to hear it today. It's at the shop.
Coming back from our last trip of hauling, the clutch went out on it.
Another expense on top of diesel prices. But she's certainly not selling it.
You just kind of get sucked into that spot of being like, I guess I have to pay if I want to continue this lifestyle.
Because there's just something about a big old diesel. In Lander, Wyoming, I'm Caitlin Tan for Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by JLL, a commercial real estate firm using data and AI to transform how clients find, manage, and invest in properties around the world. JLL.com. JLL. See a brighter way. And by Odoo.com, offering integrated programs for sales, customer relationship management, inventory, and other business operations, designed to work together as a customizable software suite. Odoo, all your business on one platform.
This final note on the way out, we're going to circle back to the Federal Reserve real quick and the jam the central bank finds itself in with inflation doing what it is doing. Susan Collins, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, said in some remarks today that she could see a situation where the central bank's next move is an interest rate hike, not a cut. I'll leave you to anticipate the reaction to that from the White House, but I will also add here that one of the things that soon-to-be Chair Kevin Warsh has said he wants to do is to cut down on public speeches and remarks by Fed officials. Our media production team includes Brian Allison, John Foky, Montana Johnson, Drew Jostad, Gary O'Keefe, and Charlton Thorpe. Alex Simpson is the manager of media production. And I'm Kai Risdall. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. This is APM.